All right.
Now we're back from our bio break, and what had just happened previously, before this break, was our characters had wandered into this square, and these statues sort of animated, and there was a bit of a combat with them. And you've come out victorious, not unscathed, but you've dropped every single one of them, and they're all around in, rended metal and gears that have grinded to a halt. And these glowing blue eyes have since dimmed. Now, we're picking up right there. I'll sort of tell me what's going on as Evie rushes out from behind the cart. I knew I'd choose you well. I could tell you're capable.
Yeah, we're capable as anyone else, but man, that really smacks.
And I turn on it very quickly. And just how far is this ship?
He points off in the distance. You see the glowing. It's close to that. Now, with that, I mean, she's pointing off quite a distance, toward the horizon.
Always vague and mysterious with this one. Truly creative.
Right. I'd say we are quite capable, as you mentioned, but also capable of drawing a lot of attention with the noise and ruckus we just created. Is there a way that we can go, is the entrance that you mentioned into the sewer incredibly nearby, or is there more skulking required in this?
A few blocks that way. As you say, I'd recommend we get about it. She looks around. You see probably some lights, kind of ignite in windows about you. There's no way that this was not heard by some.
Yeah.
Let's get out of here. Yeah. I'm with the fluffy one. Let's go. I need a 10-minute power nap or something.
Fair enough then. Well, you all will head away from this square on further into the city through these winding roads and alleys and things like that. She'll lead you for, perhaps another 5 minutes or so away from the square. And I'm assuming that you're continuing to try to move sort of stealthily as you're doing this. Now, with that, you'll come to another kind of wall that's sort of within the distance, not quite as high as the exterior walls. She'll point to that. If we were going to the foundry, it'd be through there. We don't want to go in there. I know there are more of things like that we would encounter. We can go under. Perhaps won't quite be as dangerous. And with that, you see she's near kind of a sewer grating. We just need to get in. Go under.
Right, yeah, I guess we'll go through the sewers again. Worked so well last time.
I don't think we've done it yet. I don't think this is our first sewer.
Well, then let's go through the sewers. It always works so well. Cover our feet in feces.
Deep seas. Feetsies? Footsies.
All right.
I don't know.
Now you've got this sort of large kind of iron sewer grating there. What do you wish to do?
Look, you, the strong one, the barbarian. Maybe you want to try giving this a lift?
Don't keep throwing this barbarian word around. I am from the city. I am a civilized person. I apologize for what you witnessed previously, but I am a barbarian.
Okay, apologies. City barbarian. Do you want to give this a go?
Is it look like the grate is affixed in place by any kind of mechanisms, or is it just kind of sitting there held in place by its own weight and gravity?
It looks like it's in place by its weight and gravity. I mean, it's a big piece of iron.
Okay. Does it look particularly rusted and it will make is it hinged, or is it just you just lift it and move it?
You lift it and move it, and it doesn't look like anyone's done that recently.
Okay.
And on top of that, there is kind of like a layer of, sort of ice or rime or whatever, kind of coated around the metal.
Nilbog, servant of Nilbog, you were so good at guiding our rogue earlier to scale the wall in a really magnificent fashion. Could you also perhaps give me some guidance on how I best could lift this great?
No, I cannot. But Nildog can. I will touch you and cast guidance.
I'll take the help action by giving you some choice words.
And Alistair is going to pull out a crowbar.
You can do this.
My friend, why don't you try this?
The team is coming together for this mundane effort so well. I love it.
You got this.
All right.
Fair enough. In between your strength, Alistair's crowbar, I'm gonna sure I'm sure that you can probably get advantage on this plus your guidance. So why don't you give it an athletics check at advantage plus your guidance?
Hooray! Just super excel.
Pick up
Which
that
was
heavy
necessary. I rolled an amazing 11, so about as average as I possibly could. But this was just, the ice, it slipped a little bit. It was hard to find a hold initially.
Well, certainly, yeah. And the ice doesn't crack anything like that at all whatsoever. It just stays firm.
I think it was a bad footing. We should try this again, I think. We didn't make a bunch of noise, did we?
Oh, no, you didn't make a lot of noise, as you were doing it.
I didn't fail that. That's what I was trying to hopefully avoid.
Is there a way we can get the ice off first before we try to lift it?
I have an idea for that.
I'm all ears, Alistair. What do you got?
I pull out a flask of lantern oil and just start splashing it all over the grate and the ice.
Yeah, make it nice and slippery. That'll be easy to lift.
Okay, so now who's gonna
I stand back against the wall as far as I can, just kind of waiting.
Okay, I guess it's me then. And I just start cracking my tinderbox towards the wall, but
Shield your eyes, man.
I'm taking a few steps back.
Yeah, I mean, you shower the thing with sparks and eventually it catches and, begins burning this oil on the ice. Now, and with that, I mean, obviously this ice is going to begin melting and then, it's going to sort of sizzle, a bit of steam will rise from it and eventually the flames will be extinguished, from...
We're just a bunch of hobos hanging out by a dumpster fire. There's nothing to see here. Don't worry about... Don't worry
I
about
learned
that.
from watching the dragons. You just put fire on it and it's all good.
It's true.
All right.
All right, let's try another athletics check. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Go for it.
Oh
We got
man,
this.
you'll be amazed at this, guys. It's mind-blowingly accurate how I can roll an 11 again. This is the third 11 I've rolled this game. I think maybe is it anyone else here capable of string flea things? I mean, eventually, I feel like we could probably
The crowbar
do this.
grants advantage to all the strength checks.
Oh yeah, I definitely have. I'm sorry. I rolled a 12 with advantage.
Okay. Gotcha.
Oh, I'll try it. And I walk up and I snatch the crowbar. Then I just,
because I got to say, out of all the things that I thought might thwart the party, I didn't think it would be a sewer grating.
So
the door boss.
We
We lost the
athletics
door
check, you
boss.
said?
Yes, an athletics check, and you got a crowbar. You're going to do that at advantage.
And Alistair pulls out a hammer.
What this help?
So that was 18.
Okay, 18 will be enough.
See, I've absorbed your bad dice there, Kit, and taken it into me.
Now you are able to kind of like wedge the crowbar in there and just, sort of get some leverage and pry this thing up and get it moved off into the side. Now it sort of grates along the cobbles, making a bit of noise. But you can see a ladder descending down into the darkness. Now,
A sewer and a sewer.
you've been out within the city and it's just sort of been this pale light that's been about, cast, by just these lamp lights here and there. But it's definitely dark. And I think there's at least one member of the party that might cause an issue for, if not more. I can't remember about simic hybrids. Do they have...
I have dark vision.
I also have a lantern.
Okay. All right then. So yeah, we've got at least a human that's probably going to have some issues with this. So, what do y'all want to do regarding that?
Alistair's just going to turn around and like put his backpack on the ground, rummage around, pull out the lantern, and pass it over to Lernus.
There you go.
Ugh, humans.
There you go, my friend. Yeah, you might need this.
Yeah,
Down we go.
definitely.
Yeah, I'm gonna start heading down the ladder.
I don't have a lot of oil left, though, so just watch out for that.
Then y'all will light this lantern and head down into the darkness. And when you get down there, you'll find that as opposed to the cold night air that you were in, I mean, it's relatively warm and humid down here. And if not for the lantern, it would be dark. But because you have this lantern, light is just sort of flickering and reflecting off the stonework down here. There is, of course, a fetid smell in the air. With that being said, the place is probably a lot cleaner than you would have imagined. And the stonework is impressive, even. Now, as y'all get down here, is there anything in particular you want to do before forging on?
I might do a quick look for any immediate traps or danger or signs of life.
Fair enough, then. So you do want to try to perceive? You're going to investigate around? What are you trying to do?
I'll give it a little perception.
All right, go for it.
That is a 17 from me.
All right. As you're just sort of looking around, you don't see anything that seems extremely dangerous. You know, I mean, there's certainly ways down here that you could injure yourself, but nothing seems planned to injure you. That being said, as you're looking around, you hear something, a whirring almost, muted off into the distance. You can tell it's underground. You can't really make out what it is, but there's a distinctive noise. In fact, say you probably put your hand against some of the masonry and maybe feel a bit of a vibration in it.
Yeah, look, it seems completely safe to me, so Evie, lead the way.
Alistair whips his psychic blades down the hallway with no hesitation.
It just throws them down the hallway?
Just throws them into the darkness.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, you yeet them down the hallway into the darkness. Now, with that, you don't hear the sound of anything that shrieks in pain or anything like that at all whatsoever. They just disappear off into the darkness. Now.
Did you get him, champ?
Well, I don't know what's out there, but just in case, I didn't hear anything, so let's keep going, but be very careful.
All right. Now, with that, y'all had said, Evie, lead the way. And she'll look at everyone. I'm going to do my best guessing which way we should go, but I've never exactly been down here. I'll try not to get us lost.
So good. I've got a bit of survival training. Hopefully that will help. Having had to go root out, ne'er-do-wells and scum suckers from the sewers of my own town. Kind of have maybe a concept of what sewer patterning might be like.
Okay. All right then. Fair enough. Yes.
How big is the sewer space that we in? Is it like a very large tunnel? I'm a big fella. I'm like 6'4", like
cavernous,
pushing
would not
280 chuggy buddy.
Yeah, cavernous would not be a good word, but it is large and expansive. I mean, This is not like narrow walkways. I mean, you probably, the passage that you're going through right now, you could probably fit a couple of you abreast,
Okay.
Yeah. So you've got a little bit of room to move around in here. Now, obviously, Lernus is going to be kind of going up front, I guess trying to help Evie, find the way. He has some experience as a watchman in Waterdeep, probably down within the sewers occasionally. Now, with that said, unlike earlier, let's go ahead and establish what our marching order is. So we've got Evie and Lernus up front. Who would be falling in right behind them?
I'll go right up the back.
All right, so Creed's going to be in the back. Okay.
Yeah, I can follow them. I'm still not convinced we're making it out alive, so I want to watch the CV character.
Fair enough then.
Yeah. I might sit around the middle so I can just throw a knife wherever is needed.
Okay. All right. So I got you in the middle. What about Baki?
He will be, I think, right in front of Creed, like towards the back, trying to just listen to make sure no one else sneaks up on us.
Okay.
I was kind of picturing Baki sitting on Lernus's shoulders, to be honest.
Oh,
All right. And then that's going to give us Neilbog. Where's Neilbog?
Nilbog, I guess, can be somewhere in the middle somewhere, but he doesn't seem to be paying much attention. He's kind of like distracted and walking slowly and kicking the ground and just like a child would, kind of walking along behind its parents in a shopping center.
Okay. All right then. Now, you all travel on. You're no longer in the city. Are you trying to move a bit quicker, or are you still passing with stealth?
RJ, you asked a pertinent question. We had discussed just before we started back up again from the bio break that we wanted to do a short rest to recover our kind of health and morale from that previous combat. So I think before we traipse off further into the sewer, the short rest period would probably be best done right here. If everyone,
Okay, so kind of like right as you enter within the sewers, you want to take a short rest?
I think that's kind of what we were considering as an option. If that's good.
Okay. Yeah. Is that what everybody wants to do?
Yeah, look, my aching bones could use a little power nap.
Yeah. So just
Off then.
patch up some rent body parts and
Yeah. So
At
you
the
just go
kitty.
in there in this area, and you decide that given that there's no immediate threat, this might be a good place to rest, and you attempt to do so. Now, you all kind of sit around, take very little action, take a breather, and while you're there, nothing threatens you. You'll pass the time. Over the course of this hour or so, is there anything that you think might happen? Now, we don't have to role play everything out, obviously, but y'all just give us an idea of what occurs over this short rest, you think.
I think Creed straight away just goes, all right, guys, I'll see you in 10.
Alistair just very stealthily slips off his pinky ring and hides it upon realizing that Lernus is from Waterdeep, because he may have stolen this on his last visit.
Bravo.
And so he's just going to slip that in his pocket, because he doesn't look like he did last time he was in Waterdeep. But it's still not probably the best idea to get caught with a Lord's Alliance ring.
Fair enough. Now, what about everybody else? Anybody doing anything significant, or just passing them? Okay.
Old man napping surgeon.
Oh, no.
Give me just a second to make a percentile roll over here. As Creed is napping, our sorcerer.
Less like sleepwalking and more like sleep warping.
Ah.
oh no.
I was having a very vivid dream, and then it sprung me awake, and I was like, nah.
All right. Now, as Creed is napping, he falls asleep almost immediately. And I'm going to let you narrate this, and sort of tell us what happens, but somehow you cast grease centered upon yourself. So what happens is you drift off to sleep, and this wild magic surge occurs.
I fall asleep immediately, and in my dreams, I am dreaming that I am on just the most beautiful dance floor. And I'm young again. I'm full of youth. Everyone around me is like, oh, Creed, you're such a good dancer. And there's so many elven women and men that are just admiring me. And I'm like right in the middle, breaking it down to some bardic music. And then I start spinning on the floor. And like I'm doing a backspin that I've just gone faster and faster and faster and faster. And then I like in my dream, I've just greased the floor so that everything can spin so well. And everyone's like, how does he do it? And then I awaken and I'm just like, oh, I'm in a puddle. How did this happen? It wasn't me, I swear. and there's grease everywhere. I'm like, oh, as I'm trying to like stand up and I'm slipping over. I'm like, oh, blasted open-toed sandals.
I mean, this sewer doesn't happen to be on an incline, right?
Well, you bring us to a good point, and this is what I was about to say. It's not so much that it's on an incline, but I mean, there was a good bit of moving around, and the area is all greased up. Now, I'm going to give you advantage on this because, as I've previously mentioned, the walkway is pretty significant. But why don't you give me a dex check to avoid, slipping off into some place unsavory?
Natural one. Perfect.
No.
Yeah, crit fail.
Well, there you go then, as Creed slides on the stone and plummets into the muck.
Oh.
Everyone's off doing their own things. The old man's just yeeting himself in his sleep into the mire.
Yep.
Alistair's just gonna look around at everybody and
What? Just why? What?
I have severe concerns about our elderly friend's mental health. We definitely need to get him out of this place as soon as possible. It is clearly not well for him to be here.
He follows that up with, I certainly agree. It's time we move on before something else like that happens again.
Yeah,
does he still have the rope tied around his waist?
Oh, I don't know. Good question.
I probably would have taken it off by now.
That's bad news for you, buddy.
Yeah.
We can walk over and throw him some more rope.
Yeah, you can easily toss down some rope so he can climb back up.
Yeah, I climb back up and I look at myself and I'm like, oh, shit.
Well, yes.
Indeed.
Anyone got a towel?
You really should have learned that prestidigitation, shouldn't you?
I learned mage hand so I could not sit up and just pick things up whilst I was lying in bed.
Again, life choices.
But Alistair has oil and fire.
Oh.
Life choices.
You can clean yourself up severely.
Bucky just slowly takes out one of his extra vestments, comes to a long decision, just kind of hands it to Creed, and is like, "It's not good to be wet." It's just take them.
Thank you.
Okay, everybody turn around right now.
Yeah, I don't even hesitate. I take my robes off, and you can see.
Oh
I've
God,
got,
no!
Old man knees, and I've got I look sickly, and then I put on your new vestments. I'm like, yeah, thank
I
you.
warned you.
Snug.
All for the morning, Lord. Yeah.
All right. Now, with him changing, I'm sure you all will continue on after that, correct?
Yes, let's make a move.
Enough.
Yes. You continue on. As you do so, you make your way further into these sewers, and we've got Lernus trying to help our little gnomish friend here. So you want to give me a survival roll as you're trying to lead?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I will do this thing. I will find the button and click it. And I rolled a 14. I'm assuming bless or guidance and all that nonsense is far gone. So yeah, 14.
Yeah, a 14 is good enough. You will make your way heading where you think you should be heading. And the further you travel in here, the louder the cacophony grows. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there was a bit of a whirring off in the distance. But as you travel further, I mean, it literally becomes this cacophony of buzzing and grinding and clanging. And if you try to speak to one another, I mean, you can hear yourselves, but you have to literally almost shout to be heard in this area. And as you do so, you'll find that you travel on further, winding your way through these sewers. And there's this lantern light that's just sort of making shadows dance kind of all about you. And as Lernus is going forward, passive perception is 12? Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
He doesn't take note of anything until it's about 10 or so feet away from him within the lantern light. And what he begins to hear is this sort of skittering clack of metal on stone. And he sees a swarm of something making its way toward him. It appears almost at first kind of like insects or something like that, but they're made of metal. The light is just sort of gleaming. And this is going to be another round of initiative that y'all want to give me.
You said they're like metallic bugs, you said?
Yeah.
Well, something like that.
So, okay.
So as this stuff starts approaching, because we can't hear each other, Alistair is just going to like pick up his platinum piece that he's been fiddling with and concentrate on that. And the same sort of pink glow that makes up his psychic daggers peeks out from his fingers.
And suddenly you can all hear him in your mind.
Oh.
As I use psionic whispers and I rolled a 5, which means I can talk to everyone.
Excellent.
All right. Now, y'all give me your initiative numbers. So what is Baki sitting at?
22.
22. Okay. What about Neilbog?
Oh, sorry, I didn't know.
It's okay. Go ahead and give me Alistair's.
21.
Creed's.
16 for Creed.
You got Neilbog's?
14.
14. Okay. And then what about Kit?
19.
Followed by Larynus.
My favorite number of the night, 11.
Okay. That's going to have Baki leading us off as these things. Hundreds of these things are skittering about.
And they look metallic, like they look like little metal guys.
They do.
Okay. Is the corridor wide enough for me to like maneuver around my compatriots?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Oh man. I mean, if Evie's right in the front and all that, I guess I will try to move around everyone and just get in there and hit him with my rapier. Is the idea, and just kind of stab in front of him as if I could sweep him away. Yeah.
All right, so you rush up about 25 feet to the swarm, and you go to stab. Give us an attack roll.
All right. Attack roll is 20, not natural.
Definitely going to hit.
Okay. For a whopping 4 damage.
Okay.
And just trying to like see what happens with these things. Like kind of just
Yeah. What kind of weapon were you using?
It's a rapier, so technically that is pointy damage, I believe.
Okay. All right. So now you do, kind of pierce down into this swarm, and it kind of glances off one of them, strikes the stone a bit. I mean, you hit, but it was kind of a glancing blow, as you do that. And how much damage did you say it was?
4.
4. Okay.
I'm just like, they're metal, they're not real bugs. Help.
Fair enough. Anything else for Baki?
I can use my movement to get back out of there, right? Like I can move and attack and move.
Oh, well, you moved 25 feet, so you got 5 feet of movement.
Can I use my special feline movement to double that?
I suppose you could. That is an ability you have.
Yes. So I'm going to do that to double my speed, and just move right out of there and try to like back up and put myself between me and Evie, trying to be like, move back behind us, not near the bugs. I just kind of like shuffle backwards, get a little bit of space.
Fair enough. You got anything that could mitigate an opportunity attack?
I super don't know.
Okay. All right then. So yeah, as you try to tear away from this area, there's a 10 on the die. Right. Where's that? Oh, sorry, I lost my place. So that was a 10 on the die. That's going to be a 13, and you have a 15. All right. So yeah, these things kind of like begin sort of skittering up your leg, but you're able to just sort of shake it off and rush back behind Evie. Now, takes us to Alistair next.
Okay, so Alistair is just going to like crouch backwards, like one leg behind him, kneeling up. And he's like,
I'm staying here.
and just reaches up, pounds his bracer, and a slingshot folds up into his hand, and he's just going to start shooting these things.
Go for it.
So I'm going to use my sling. That's an 11.
11. It's not going to hit. I mean, you do your sling, strikes the stone kind of in between some of these.
I'm going to be cheeky and use one of my psionic energy die. And just his eyes just flare pink for a split second. And I'm going to add 5 to that roll.
You strike. Give me some damage.
I can only do that a couple of times, so let's do as much as we can. And is Baki within 5 feet of any of these things?
Baki moved back, so he definitely got out of the way.
Yeah,
Nothing
I mean,
is
like
5 feet. These things are about 10 feet away from.
Damn. Okay. In that case, it's 4 damage. Dang it, Baki, you couldn't have stayed a little closer.
No, that was psychic
Definitely
damage.
not.
I would have got no, just bludgeoning damage, but I would have got sneak attack damage on it if it was a bit closer.
Yeah, gotcha. All right. Okay. All right. Well, that's going to take us on from Alistair to Kit.
I duck under Lernus, and then I grab my short swords and I come up and I do this kind of spinning move, like spinning myself so I can get 2 strikes with 2 weapon fighting. First one. 11, which I don't think hits.
Yeah, 11 will be a glancing blow that strikes into the stone. Sparks.
And then next one is 16.
16 does strike.
Okay. That's 9 damage.
Okay. Got it. Anything else Kit can do?
No.
All right. Then we move on from Kit to Creed.
How are these things looking? Are they looking like they're not bloodied or anything? They're looking strong?
I mean, they're mechanical, so you definitely don't see like signs of like blood, on the floor or anything like that. But some of these things have been destroyed.
Okay. I might go ahead and just cast a fairy fire on them.
Okay, fair enough.
So that'll be a dexterity 13 DC check from them.
All right, that's going to be a fail again. So you light up the area that they're
Excellent. Yeah, they're all lit up. And I think this time Creed is just kind of like, he kind of roughs his hand. And then it's almost as if a big cosmic hand reaches over and grabs everything and then just like crumbles them around. And then they drop back down and they're all shiny and very metallic-y and platinum glowy. And then
If this wasn't the heat of battle, I'd say that that's very pretty, friend.
it is very pretty. You could say it anyway. And then I hide behind Baki.
All right.
Go get him.
You do that. Now, takes us on from Creed to Nilbog.
How many of them are there? Is it sort of like a mass?
It is a mass, it's a swarm.
Okay.
So
Okay.
hundreds probably.
All right. I will once more just say out loud, Nilbug, protect us. And I'm going to grab my little clay icon again and hold my hand out and cast Sacred Flame.
All right. Now with your Sacred Flame, that's going to be a dex check, right?
Yeah.
So what's your DC on that?
12.
Okay, 12. All right, give me some damage.
Hey.
I was not expecting that. D8. I think. Yeah. 7. 7 radiant.
Okay, all right.
Nice.
Now it doesn't destroy the swarm, but you want to describe what happens with your Sacred Flame?
It's similar to before with that guiding bolt, but this time it kind of little globules of like flame appear around it, and they just shoot inwards and attack from all sides.
All right, excellent. Then we go on from Nilbog to Lernus.
Yeah. The individual components of the swarm, are they like the size of like a cicada, or are they smaller or larger?
I mean, they're tiny. I'd say, probably bigger than a cicada, more like a tarantula size or something like
Okay.
that.
I don't think that his halberd or his javelins or whatever would be very useful against these things. I don't want to sack the lantern to kind of like torch them. I have my own lantern I can use, of course. Maybe you know what? Yeah, let's do it. I'll yeet the lantern I currently have into kind of like the heart of the mass of them in an attempt to torch them and hopefully kind of light up the area a little bit.
Okay. All right. So you got basically an improvised weapon going on here. Why don't you give me a D20 roll plus your dexterity modifier, but not proficiency for being an improvised weapon?
Sure, you can do that.
Don't forget
There is a dexterity
advantage.
modifier, so it's just
It is advantage, yeah, because of the very far.
yeah. So that's good. A 16.
Okay, yeah. So you toss, this lantern within the swarm. Now it is going to explode, fire and oil kind of like coating the area.
Fire.
Now, why don't you, let's see. I think there's something similar that you can purchase that does about a D6 worth of fire damage. So why don't you just give me a D6?
Sure. Boom. Let's roll for 3. Nice and average.
Say that again.
3.
3. Okay. All right. Now, fire just sort of like coats a large swath of these things. And there's some remaining, but you can definitely tell that over half of them have been destroyed. So we go on from Lernos having launched this improvised firebomb, to these creatures.
Yeah. And he just takes a defensive kind of posture. Like he has nothing really else to do. So he holds his stick like, what the fuck now? Pardon my language, sorry.
Fair enough. Now, I was going to say these things advance, but actually Kit had gone right up to them to attack, I believe. So they're going to strike for Kit, the remaining ones. So 10 on the die. It's a 13. Kit has an AC of 15. All right. So kind of the same thing. These things kind of begin climbing up Kit, but none of them manage to penetrate armor or clothing or what have you. Now, with that, we're back to Baki.
Okay. Baki's gonna put the rapier away, take out his quarterstaff, and just run back into the fray. Is going to be the plan, and I think I'm gonna burn my last spell slot to use divine. Wait, okay, you can do that only when I hit. Sorry. I'm just going to attack it with my quarterstaff. Is the idea, trying to overhand just kind of wall up the swarm and crush some of them next to Kit.
And do so with advantage.
Thank you. First roll was only a 13. We're going to roll again. Next roll is a 19.
It's going to hit. Give me some damage.
Now, I am going to burn my last spell slot for real to use Divine Smite, which gives me an extra 2d8 radiant damage. So my quarterstaff damage is just a 1d6, is 5 plus 8 plus 7. 5 plus 8 plus 7. Math. I can do this. 20 on the dot?
Yeah, it's 20, exactly.
Yeah. All right. 20 on the dot. So there's this blinding light that comes out of the quarterstaff as I just overhand and try to squash him.
Okay. All right. You exceed the amount needed to destroy the rest of these. So
Nice.
What happens?
Yeah, as Baki, as I hit the ground, the blinding light kind of shatters, the earth shakes underneath them, and they just kind of come out in a big, they're blown apart from the force of the blow. Some of them scatter against the wall, and just the little pieces kind of form little piles. And Baki's left there just panting, kind of didn't really know it was going to work that well. Just like, I kind of freaked myself out with that one. I just looks at Kit next to him like,
I pat him on the back. Well played, old man.
thanks. I'm just kind of startled from where you touched me.
Good work, furry friend.
I try. I do. Can we go?
Yes, I think we should keep moving, but let's keep an eye on.
I will, while the last kind of bit of oil is still smoldering from the previous lantern, I apologize to Alistair for breaking his toy, and I will do my best to get him a new one to replace it, and I will bust out my own bullseye lantern and light it while I still can see what is going on, so we can go forward. This is now a bullseye lantern, though not a regular lantern, so it's kind of like just more focused light.
Fair
That's
enough.
okay, my friend. I don't really need them. I just carry them in case I need to set something on fire, really.
Well, then,
But speaking of fire, well, magic and setting things in pain. Before we go on, can anybody here cast like a lightning spell of any sort?
I can shockingly grasp things.
I mean, but you have to be touching the thing, right?
I would, yes.
Yeah, okay, that doesn't work so much, but that's okay. I just thought in case we encounter another swarm of these things, I'd better check.
I think anytime Creed grasps anyone else, they are a bit shocked by the outcome.
Yeah, very bony, cold hands.
And barely grasped.
They've got bad circulation.
He's got that
Can we
chill
tell-
touch.
Can we
Yeah,
tell if the
real quick.
sound is diminished or not?
The sound is definitely not diminished. It's still. It doesn't seem to have been coming from these things, though it did
Probably
sort of cause the noise that they made. Now, real quick, Preston, what is Neilbog's passive perception? I hadn't gotten that yet.
16.
16.
Jesus.
That is the highest of the group and kind of makes sense for a cleric. Now, as you all are around having destroyed, this swarm of mechanical things, there's a bit of fire that is still kind of burning within the oil and stuff like that. And Neilbog can see that there are some kind of shiny things within this sort of swath of destruction of all this metal. Now, it was, made from metal, but he sees distinctively not just metal, but perhaps some gem-like things within there as well, from where some of these things had been crushed, and perhaps some platinum disc or something like that.
Is it in the fire or?
No, the fire is just illuminating the area and
Okay.
shining off of
Sorry.
gleaming off of these shiny things, reflective things.
Nildog can see things. What's that?
All right.
What is it? Did you see it, little friend?
Something shiny.
Okay, you had me at shiny.
Alistair is definitely going to want to take a look.
Yeah. As you take a look, you can see kind of in this destruction, these broken things, there are about 10 platinum discs in here. You've seen this metal before, mostly in the form of coins. And this is close to the size of a coin, but distinctively not a coin. It seems to have been used for some sort of mechanical purpose. And in addition to that, there are also these 8 blue stones, transparent, pale blue.
None of that looks safe.
I like greedy things. I'll take 1 coin and 1 stone, and you can share the rest.
These are of no particular interest to Lernus, so you guys can deal with them as you wish.
I've surpassed material things except alcohol.
No more alcohol for you.
How dare you?
Sifting the wreckage of the metallic carcasses and things like that, doing investigation, can I get a sense of whether I think these were parts that came from these things, and if somehow they were related to their function or whatever it is they were doing?
Yeah, most certainly. I mean, you don't know what the function would have been, but you think that they were kind of like parts of some of these things, for sure.
Actually, you know what? I have an idea. I'm going to try and collect up as much of them as I can and stick them to my body in various ways. I will become one.
You try real hard at that. They don't really stick to your body. That being said, you've collected a handful of these, platinum disc and, pale blue stones.
Something unusual has happened.
What? Wild magic? Okay. Is that directed towards anyone in particular or just a general?
Definitely George.
It's directed at Alistair.
Alistair is a good boy.
Okay. All right. Now, whoever this was directed towards, I'm assuming Alistair, because that's what was just said.
Thanks,
Alistair's
George.
size increases.
Oh.
So he becomes a large-sized version of Alistair.
Yes. This is
Ambigonate.
Now, this lasts for about a minute.
Alistair just starts running down the hallway. Boom, 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 boom.
All right. Fair enough then. He plunges down the hallway, into the darkness. Not a problem for him, as he can see. Now, as he runs down this hallway, why don't you give me a dexterity check?
Okie dokie.
I was trying to do sticky things, but instead I did biggie things.
This is not the, I think, ideal time to engorge yourself,
17.
Alistair.
17. Okay. Now, as he's plunging down this hallway, he's been used to, making his way through here at Alistair size or whatever. And he comes very close to braining himself on this sort of low-hanging sort of architectural feature, but manages at the last moment to just kind of like duck under it,
Watch your head, friends.
Yeah. Now, y'all continue on, and you're not in combat right now or anything like that. Nothing else is threatening you, and a minute will pass, and eventually Alistair running will eventually shrink back down to size, No.
No mischief for me.
Yeah. Now, as Lernus kind of leads you on the rest of the way, catching up with Alistair, y'all will make your way out of the sewer. And as you do so, you kind of arrive on the other side of the wall of the foundry, and you can see it glowing on the skyline. As you're there, outside of this sewer, not only that, but this sort of like blood-like smell that you had experienced earlier, stepping into the city. I mean, it's a metallic tang that almost burns on your tongue. You can see these docks are just sort of coated, slick with ice. And there's one lone boat that's docked here. And painted on the side of it are the words "The Lone Traveler." This bitter chill kind of bites at you. You feel it in your bones. What's going on with your group right here as you see this near you?
Oh, my elbows. The cold, it always makes them stiff.
This chill seems unnatural. Artis, could you give me a lift?
I suppose, yeah, Lawrence would definitely be on the wary side and maybe try to percept the surrounding environment for dangers. But a lift, yes, I could probably lift Alistair with no significant challenge.
Yeah,
Like, you want me to, like,
Alistair
hold you up
wants
with
to
my
try like
shoulders,
a boost maneuver so he can get some air again and check out the boat from the air.
Okay, all right.
Sir, I can yeet my friend.
As you're being yeeted, I'm assuming you're going to do the thing where you kind of like glide again or something like that. What's going on? Okay. As you're sort of gliding, you see that there's like a bit of snow that's sort of descending in the area, which is Not surprising. It snows here. Things are covered in ice, stuff like that. But as you're gliding, you kind of see it fall, kind of like on your hand in front of you. And you realize that it's not snow, but it's ash. And it seems to be falling kind of all around this area. And from your vantage point right now, you can get a good view of the boat. The boat appears to be empty. No crew on it at all whatsoever. You don't see a sign of, anything waiting to ambush you or anything like that. Now, your passive perception is, if I have this correct, a 13. Is that right?
It is indeed.
Okay. Now, as you're kind of glancing that way towards the boat, you see nothing. You turn back the other way, kind of looking towards the group, and you see a figure in the darkness, kind of descending amongst this ash, flying like you. It's a suit of blackened plate, appears to be inscribed with cruel runes. There's what seems to be like glowing from within the seams of this thing as it descends amongst the falling ash. Kind of coming in behind, pretty close to where Nailbog is.
Okay, I'm just checking if... Yep, looks like it's still working. How long would you say that it has been?
Since when?
Since we had that fight.
Oh, well, so we kind of expedited things a little bit. I would guess that probably it's been a matter of maybe 10 minutes or something like that.
Okay, definitely. Okay, then Alistair is just going to be like shout in everybody's mind.
There's something in the ash, there's something in the ash, there's something in the ash. It's black and it's flying and it's not me. There's something in the ash.
Well, look, maybe it's friendly.
It does not look friendly. It looks very scary, and I'm going to land now. Bye-bye.
As an older person, I've learned, don't judge a book by its cover.
Zoom as quickly as possible back to the group.
Yeah. Evie, is that the boat guy? Is that your guy? I hope that's not your guy.
As y'all are saying that, Evie kind of turns around, looks back the direction that Alistair was pointing, and you see a bit of fear kind of come across her face as words ring out across the open air, coming somewhere from within this blackened suit of armor. No one has given you permission to leave. You go if I say you can go. No, I have not given you leave of that.
I said I could go. Who the hell do you think you are?
Can I request permission?
Request no.
It's worth a try.
And with that, she's hovering about 10 feet off the ground, about 10 feet away from Neilbog. She carries a blackened shield and sword that's down at her side. This boat is not yours to take. You are here because I want you here.
Who said anything about taking a boat?
And you are? I mean, besides very imposing in that big suit of armor, who the hell are you?
I'm Valos. Malvalos.
And I thought my name was on the nose.
I missed what you said, Sean.
And I thought my name was on the nose.
This is my city.
And we don't want it. You can keep it. We've got to go somewhere else.
Not how it works here. Now, you abandon her. You go back to whatever pathetic lives you were leading. Leave her to me.
Excuse me, pathetic? I am one of the 5 heroes of Green Nest? No, that's very rude of you. And we're not leaving after the year. She's hired up to do something. And, well, if I'm hired, I do my job. Jesus.
My life was pretty pathetic.
Yeah, I kind of, yeah, but you know, the light was better where we were before.
The whole city is rather pathetic. You're right. It is.
Yeah, your city sucks.
Just trembling. We should get on the boat. I got the rapier out, but it's shaking.
Yeah, Alistair is like blasting everybody back away slowly and bring Evie with us in everybody's minds while he's shouting all of this.
Okay. So what is everyone doing? Does anyone do anything in response to that?
Backing slowly towards the boat, trying to get us between Evie so she's not in like the line of fire.
Right. Now, as you begin backing away, once more, let's have a round of initiative.
Okay, let it begin.
Oh,
Not inclined to let you leave.
that is a natural 1.
Oh,
RJ, sorry, I was just going to say, right before you said initiative, am I able to invoke duplicity?
You mean like as you're backing away or whatever?
Yeah, so I kind of wanted to like appear in front of me as if like I'm leaving it behind. Like
Sure.
in front of myself.
We can say that you did that. Now, anyone have higher than 15?
yeah.
Blackjack.
Yes, 15.1.
All right. Just let me get initiative from everybody. What's Baki have?
21. I've been fire on initiative, and I finally got blackjack. So
All right.
Nice.
Fair enough. What's Neil Bach have?
20.
All right. What's Alistair have?
A 1. Well, a 3 with plus 2,
All
but
right.
it was in that one.
Gotcha. What's Creed have?
An 18.
All right. Kit.
15.
And then finally, Awareness.
Kit is going 15, but better 15 than my 15.
Okay. Got it. Well, that's going to have us at the top of the round with Baki. You all were backing away, but you can see that this dread lady doesn't intend to let you do that.
yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb. We did short rest, so I can channel divinity one more time, and I'm just going to try to turn the unholy if she's within 30 feet of me. It only works on fiends and undead. They got to make a wisdom saving throw of 12. Is the idea. If she's a fiend or undead.
All right. I have a 17 on the die.
Okay. So Baki's, holds out his kind of holy symbol that he has around his neck, sees this not work, and just goes, never mind. And man, yeah, that's what I had. And I think it's just going to continue. I don't want to get Evie in immediate state between this lady and Evie. So I guess I'm just going to take the rapier out and hold my ground despite shaking like a leaf on a tree.
Okay, fair enough. So you're holding your ground currently about 20, 25 feet away.
Yeah.
All right. And it's going to take us on from Baki to Nilbog. Nilbog is only about 10 feet away.
I'm going to use my. I think I have to use. I can move my duplicate using a bonus action. Is that right?
That sounds right.
Can I? I don't know how this works. Can I use my action instead to either? Actually, no. Yeah, I'll use my action to disengage. Actually, and I'll use my bonus action to make my duplicate move. So I'm going to run into opposite directions.
Okay. All right then. Just kind of like moving your full distance both directions.
I'm like running away from it in two separate directions.
All right. Fair enough. You do that. Okay.
You can
Does that sell everything for Nilbog?
Sorry?
Is that it for Nilbog?
Yeah, I don't have any other actions I can take.
Okay. That's going to take us on to Creed then.
Creed is going to cast Fairy Fire on it. Actually, first things first, I'm going to cast Mind Sliver. So I will need it to make an int save, DC 13.
I don't get that till level 5.
Rough.
Okay, it fails its int save.
Hey, it takes 2 psychic damage. And it also has 1d4 to be subtracted from the next saving throw, which I'm going to use Quicken Spell with my sorcery points and cast Fairy Fire.
Nice.
Okay.
So that is now a DC 13 dexterity save minus a d4.
So that's cocked. Oh, it fails Fairy Fire.
Hey, so I'm kind of looking at it, and you see its armor change color into a powder blue, and I'm like, oh, well, that's not very threatening anymore. That's very embarrassing.
All right. Is that it for Creed?
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Takes us on to Kit.
Kit, as a bonus action, uses Bardic Inspiration, and he yells, "Come on, lads! We were invisible once!" And then, as my one action, I'm going to cast Blade Ward on myself.
All right. So you cast Blade Ward on yourself, and that's going to be it for Kit.
Yes.
All right. Then it takes us to Lernus.
Yay! We're gonna do that thing again, where Lernus is in danger, and therefore the Hydra is trying to kill him. And so, would you say that the armored person is within striking range, or I can move to within striking range with my halberd of them?
It's 10 feet off the ground, and I believe you have a reach of 10 feet with your halberd, correct?
I do. Okay. Yes.
So
Okay, cool.
10, 15, 20, 25. Yep, you've got just enough movement to get within striking distance.
Okay. Yeah. Those serpentine heads phantasmally erupt out from his body again. Purple energies kind of whippling from his eyes, and he rushes forward like some maddened fool to strike at this woman. The Hydra is kind of pressing him along, and he is reckless. And there's a strike roll. Boop. Oh, that's terrible. 13 does not hit, I'm assuming.
Definitely. I mean, this figure is plate mail and shield and sword.
Wild miss of a swing. I don't have. Oh wait, did bardic inspiration? I hear was the word mentioned earlier.
It was.
Yep. So
and I'm assuming you
that.
did. So did your attack with advantage as well?
I did.
Yeah, I figured.
Oh nope. I already. Yeah, nope. It's still a miss. Whatever her armor class is still going to be far exceeding anything I can add on within any kind of reason at this level. So, wild flailing swing, and because I did not hit her with the attack, she is not compelled by the spirit to do the spirit stuff.
Okay. All right then. Well, it's going to take us on from Lernus to the Dread Lady. Now Lernus is right there. She descends about 5 feet, hovering about 5 feet off the ground, and strikes with a long sword.
Yo.
Now, that's going to be a miss, as Lernus is able to parry the first strike.
Even though she has advantage?
Oh, I didn't roll advantage.
Yeah.
And that's still going to
I
be
am wide open.
Yeah, he was still able to kind of parry it out of the way. And then
The Hydras are mad. They hate this.
yeah, she comes back with another attack with her sword. And that's a crit.
Yeah, there we are.
All right.
The Hydras kind of just brought that on me. Let's do it.
600 damage.
I should expect no less.
12 points of slashing damage.
All right. That did not feel good. The Hydras squeal in glee.
All right. Now, with that, Creed is my next person who's closest within range. And Creed will notice something kind of emanate from this armor, almost like this spectral kind of skeletal hand that extends forth and attempts to brush against him with an 18 on the die. And as it brushes against him, he'll take 2, 3, 5. He'll take 5 points of necrotic damage.
Ow! Ouch!
As he feels life force being rended from his body. Now, if someone were to try to heal you, that's kind of impossible for a bit, as this is a chill touch.
Don't go for me. Go for Evie. She's the one who made us do this.
Now, we go on from this lady to Alistair at the bottom of the round.
Hey.
I don't like the look of this. I don't like the look of you. I don't want to stay here. I don't like your stupid city. It's time to go. Let's do this.
And he just manifests, like, rears up with his hands, manifests both blades, and just chucks them at her face.
All right. Go for it.
Okay. Let's see what happens. Okay. That is an 11 for the first one.
Definitely miss.
Oh, Jesus. D&D Beyond is doing me dirty. And that's an 8 for that one. I should have just stuck with my physical dice.
Yeah. So yeah, with the first one, she just kind of like throws her shield up, and then next one, she just sort of like slices through your blade with her sword.
So
wow.
with my interact with an object, can I just like pour my water skin all over the string I'm carrying?
Oh, hold on. I think I missed something. I just catch that 2 times wild magic for George, and then wild magic for Neilbog as well. So
Bucky.
sorry to interrupt you there, but let's throw this wild magic in there and see what
Let's
happens.
do it.
Is that a total of 4 wild magic effects going off, or is it?
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Split the Party TV says both for George, one now, one immediately after the first happens in his next turn, or when the first resolves if out of combat. And then there's the other ones.
All right. So the first one. Now with this
Apparently
first,
someone's trying to give one to me too.
so George,
Yeah.
you turn into a potted plant until your next turn. While you're a plant, you're incapacitated and have vulnerability to all damage.
Yeah, I take that skeletal hand. I'm like, ow!
It's like camouflage. No one will notice the potted plant like on the dome.
Now, so that was the one for George, and then we've got one towards Neilbog as well. That should be going off now, right? So Neilbog. Okay, this was a 1, and that says roll on this table at the start of each of your turns for the next minute. Ignoring this. So
Okay.
you're going to have to remind me of that. But at the start of each of Neilbog's turns, we'll be rolling mild magic. Now,
Of wild magic Neilbog. He's just erupting with chaos. This is appropriate for a goblin.
Chaos
Whoopsie-doodle.
manifest. Now, what was the second one for George? What was the stipulation on that?
Oh, just like at the end of his first turn or something, it says in the chat.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right then. So you were saying something, Sean.
There's one for Baki here as well, it says.
Oh, for Baki as well? Okay.
Yeah, it just says directed at Baki and Nilbog.
Yeah, I think I really freaked out when I got hit by that attack.
I just rolled a 1 and then I rolled a 100. Okay. So that would be you regain all of your sorcery points.
Oh.
You're not a sorcerer, though.
I could regain all my spell slots.
That's fine.
Good. Or I could roll again to give you something that's
fair. That's fair.
applicable.
And one for me, apparently.
All right. A spectral shield hovers near you for the next minute, granting you a +2 bonus to AC and immunity to all magic missile.
Nice.
All right.
So-
Yep.
All right.
Baki sees what happens to Creed and goes, "She turned Creed into a plant!" And then the magic shield just says, "She gave me a Nilbog. Was this you?" just, I'll take it.
All right. Now, is there one for Alistair now?
And that was a new one, yeah, for Allie.
Okay. All right then. Okay, Alistair, you cast polymorph on yourself.
Oh!
What do I
If you
become?
fail the saving throw. Oh, if you fail the saving throw, you turn into a sheep for the spell's duration.
What's the saving throw?
DC 30 wisdom?
Wow.
All right. So did I take it you failed your saving throw? Is that
Yeah,
correct?
I did not roll very well.
All right. So we've got a potted plant, we've got a sheep, and we've got a dreadlord hovering in front of your party. Now, I think, Sean, you were still trying to do something?
I was, but now that I don't have hands, I can't really. But I wish I had one more action because I would love to headbutt.
Yeah, bite her shins.
All right. Well, I guess we go on from Alistair back to the top of the round with Baki. Baki, you've got this shield near you.
Yeah, and two of my compatriots are just not now. How are people doing on health? Lernus, you got hurt pretty bad. Okay.
It didn't feel good, but he's a bit engaged, so it's not really hard to tell based off his morale how he's feeling about it.
Fair. All right. So, Baki with this shield just assumes, says, "The Morning Lord is with me," and runs forward, finally feeling a little braver, and tries to just stab with the rapiers to straight attack at this Dreadlord.
With advantage, too. Thanks
With
to
advantage.
powdered blue armor.
That's correct.
Right. Thank you. I super needed that. That's an 18.
Okay. Well, I mean, she is in plate mail, and you stab at advantage toward this powdered blue armor. Nevertheless, you strike kind of like, in the chest plate, and it glances off, being plate mail.
Yeah. Baki's just left there like, this is going to stay there.
All right. Now, takes us from Baki to Neilbog.
Nilbog chaos.
What am I rolling?
That's right. You can give me a percentile roll.
Nilbog, turn into a dragon or something good.
Yeah, all right. Where is my other one? Oh, I'm missing. There it is. 39.
39. Okay. So with the 39, you regain 2d10 hit points.
Hey.
Nice.
I'll just. How far away are we from this boat? Is it how big is this boat? Is it like a boat? Like we talking like a big ship or?
Oh, it's a big ship.
Okay. How far away is it from us?
I'd say probably you're within 40 to 50 feet away from it.
Does it look like it? Like, does it have a ramp?
Yes.
I'm having a bad time.
Does it look, just quickly glancing at it, does it look like it has any cannons on it?
You do see kind of like those sort of, I don't know what they're called, but like the cannon windows or whatever that could be opened, but no cannons are like out displayed.
Okay, I'm going to run toward the boat as myself and get as far as I can toward it. And is this, did you say Dreadlord? Is it still flying?
Yeah, it's about 5 feet off the ground, kind of engaged with the barbarian and the paladin right now.
Okay. Right. So I probably should have mentioned this, but I'm 2 levels of cleric, 1 level of rogue. So I do also get what do you call it? Sneak attack as well. Does that mean if I shot it now with my crossbow, I would get sneak attack?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I'll do that. Where is my crossbow? There it is. It's a natural 1. Damn.
All right.
I'll use my bonus action then to move my duplicate back toward it.
Okay. All right. Well, you do that. And then give me a percentile roll. Let me know what you got.
Another 1.
Mm-hmm. Not wild magic.
44.
44. Okay. Give me some damage.
Do some damage.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah, crossbow.
Yeah, crossbow damage.
Oh. Okay. Oh wow, that was good. So I rolled an 8 plus 3, so that's 11 piercing damage. Do you want me to still roll sneak attack?
Oh no. Lernus is bit in the back for 11 points of damage. This was a natural 1, right? A crit failure?
Was.
Rough.
I rolled max damage.
Lernus is bit by that pretty hard from behind.
That didn't do it. The Hydra's squealing more glee. Yes, everyone attack him. Ah.
Now, we go on. Or was there anything left for Neilbog? In that case, we go on to Creed. Creed, who's a potted plant for the next minute, thanks to... Was there any kind of save on that? Or is that just straight up a potted plant for the next minute?
Someone put me on the ship.
Will water you daily.
Am I near him?
Right. So, oh yeah, and then I think at the start of your turn, you get another wild magic surge, is what was said, right?
Yes.
True,
That
yeah.
was mentioned.
Do they cancel out?
Let's find out.
Somebody pour some absinthe on that plant.
Get my wild magic up. $65. Up to 3 creatures you choose within 30 feet of you take 40-10 lightning damage.
Can I? My potted plant brain chooses the Dreadlord, obviously.
Here's the thing: the Dreadlord is technically 2 creatures.
I will choose those 2 creatures as one of them. And then third one, I'll choose Alistair.
Right.
How dare you!
In that case, go ahead and give me your 40-10 for the Dreadlord.
Oh.
And that's going to be twice. ones for each of these.
Rolling all of them at the same time. And that's not popping up for me. Wow, okay.
I love
That'll
how
end up
earlier-
as 58 with the 8d10.
Wow.
Okay. All right. So 58. So I'll just split that between the two, I guess. So,
I just want to point out earlier, Alistair said, "Does anyone have a lightning attack?" We're like, no one's got any lightning.
Turns out Creed had not seen his final form yet, where he doesn't aim that.
Exactly.
all right. Now, as this lightning streaks across from the potted plant, this powdered blue armor, is enwrapped, with this lightning that sort of swirls and grounds about it. In addition to that, the helm is struck and falls off of the Dreadlord's or Dreadlady's form, revealing this encasement that has a brain just sort of like floating within it atop the suit of armor. Now, I believe you were also going to deal some damage to Alistair, you said?
It was, yeah. And it was 17. 17 lightning damage.
Okay. So, Alistair the sheep takes 17 damage. Now, I believe that means...
Oh, no! I gave Creed more alcohol!
And Alistair just
probably...
collapses on the ground, unconscious.
All right.
At least it'll end your polymorph.
He had 14
say-
health left.
All right. Well, yeah, you land unconscious on the ground, but yes, your polymorph goes away and you revert to Alistair. And it takes us on from Creed to Kit.
So is Alistair in death saves? Is that what we're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to run to him and cure wounds. And you have 10.
Oh, thank Lord for that. Thank you.
And then for a bonus action, if I can, I would like to dash and pick up the potted plant and head for the boat.
You do that then. And you rush, pick up the potted plant, head toward the boat. And then we go on from Kit to Lernus.
Yeah. Continues to focus on the... So is it discernible that the exposed brain in a jar aspect of this Dreadlord is a separate entity and thus for a separate target?
Seems like it could be a separate target, yes.
I feel like a glass case full of questionable fluid and brain matter is probably easier to hit than just plate armor. So let's try and just poke that with the halberd instead.
You go for it.
Same as before. 26.
That's going to hit. You can give me some damage.
Yeah. For 9 to 11 slashing and rage damage to the brain and the jar port.
Okay.
And the Hydra spirits really want that part of the boss to focus on me.
Okay. Fair enough. Now, with that, is there so is that like an automatically like compulsion to attack you? Is that what that is?
No, so it's the ancestral protector path of the barbarian thing. The first creature you hit with an attack on your turn becomes a target, which hinders the attacks. Until the start of your next turn, the target has disadvantage to attack anyone that isn't me. And if they hit anyone that isn't me, their target gains resistance to that damage.
Gotcha.
So they have disadvantage to hit anyone else and advantage to hit me.
All right.
And I am at like really low health.
Here's what happens after that, though. As you kind of like strike into this encasement, and there's a bit of a crack. It doesn't shatter, but there is a crack that goes across it. And you hear, "No!" And this encasement separates from the body. And what I need is Lernus to give me a save.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
All right, you're going to give me a saving throw. Wisdom.
Mm-hmm. Wisdom. Okay, very good.
Actually, hold on.
Shouldn't be hard for a barbarian.
Totally known for those. Nope. I am highly susceptible to this effect.
Right.
Okay. Now, as that happens, you are charmed. She screams, "No, protect me!" and begins kind of like floating away from you all, taking no other action. The plate mail just drops to the ground in a clatter. And then we go on to Alistair.
All right. How am I going to do this? So that's a brain in a jar, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So once more, Alistair is going to whip both psychic blades straight at the head. But this time I'm going to expend the last of my my psionic boost abilities to make sure these damn things hit.
I thought you were a dead sheep.
I got healed.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, better.
Yeah, I got 10 health, so I'm back up, and this is my last ditch chance to try to do something before I get knocked out again. All right. Oof. What is that? +4. Okay. That's a 10. That's not going to do it.
Yeah. The 10 definitely won't do it. Now, it's going to wind down.
The second one, however, is a 20.
20 hits.
Okay. That doesn't get as much damage, but that's 13 damage, including 6 psychic damage and 7 sneak attack damage.
Okay. You definitely strike into it. You hear a bit more cracking in the encasement, but it doesn't drop from the sky or anything like that. Now, you have this thing running. Many of you are injured. The boat is within sight. Do you want to remain engaged with this and see what might happen? Or do you want to disengage and try to make your escape?
What plant thinks escape?
To run away if we can, my friends. Like this is bad. Like I'm quite hurt, and my brain, the mind, it's getting tired. I can't do this for much longer.
Let's get out of here. Someone take the plant. It's
I
Creed.
must protect my dreadlord.
Oh no.
I already have the plant. I'm already running.
Right.
Craig can eat my butt after that lightning.
Oh.
So there is a consensus to disengage and run toward the boat. And I'm sure that that your gnomish friend has been running there, following along behind Neilbog. You all will make it up the gangplank onto the boat. And she'll go rush up across the deck above the captain's quarters, take the helm, and begin steering it away. Now, in these moments, do we have some scenes you want to leave us with?
My duplicate is still down there. Can I have it fling off one more guiding bolt?
Sure, go for it.
That's a 15.
15 is good enough to hit this thing.
Oh, that's good. That is a 16 radiant damage.
Nice.
Okay.
Impressive.
Yeah.
This encasement has less than that. So what do you think happens? guiding bolt. Do you
Does
want to tell
it
us?
fall?
Yeah,
Oh gosh, I wasn't prepared for this. I want the Nilbog duplicate to do the same thing as it did last time. Well, the real one did with his finger trace along its crossbow and fire one off. I want it to like go straight through it, and initially it looks like it missed, but then it'll just kind of like erupt in like a burst of flame and fall to the ground in pieces.
Okay. So there's this explosion of flame and ash as it falls to the ground in a clatter. Now, with that, Evie is piloting the boat away from the docks, and you're heading off on this oily black sea. Ice flows all about you, rocking the boat as she doesn't pilot it exactly too well. And you sail off towards these mists. Now, do we have a end scene anyone wants to leave us with? What do you think happens as you're pulling away from these docks?
Alistair's going to crouch next to the pot plant. And he's just going to whisper,
I don't know if you can hear me in there, Creed, but if you ever do that again, I'm going to salt your earth. My friend, that was horrible.
Odd Plant doesn't hear it.
On the docks, as the party sails away, they can see Lernus's kind of befuddled brain and its hydra heads wailing around as the brain gets exploded by Nilbog's amazing power, and then he just looks at the splattered gore and viscera there on the docks and looks at the armor and goes like they can see him like picking up the armor to maybe like dawn it himself.
I like that a lot.
So we left. Wow. Okay. All right. So
Well, yeah, the last thing that happened to him was he was compelled by the brain. So
yeah. Okay. I like that. I like that as an end scene. Lernus dons the armor as you sail off into the mist.
Lernus the Dreadlord.
Now, thank you all so very much.
that was so much fun, guys. You
That
guys
was
are
awesome.
amazing.
So yeah, and it looks like we had some people tuning in. Thank you so very much for coming in and joining us for our adventure tonight. Certainly appreciate having you here, and definitely appreciate all those wild magic surges at the end.
Yeah, those
Thank you so
donations are
much for all your
wonderful.
donations.
I'm really glad I prepared a sheep at the start of the game.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought for sure I was going to be the pot plant, though. So I had this ready.
Nice.
Nice.
That would have been amazing.
Wow.
Well, I think there was a dice giveaway that was going on, and it looks like Trollsmedden won the giveaway. So congratulations!
Hey, congratulations! Well
awesome.
done.
So cool. And just real quick, Soren, how we're going to lead out of this? Thanks so very much to Jasper's Game Week for letting us play tonight, and thanks to all you players who had donated to be a part of this charity game. And definitely once more, thank you so very much to you viewers who donated to give us our wild magic surges and everything. It was certainly fun.
Thanks, RJ, for DMing us as well. It was amazing.
Thank you so much. That was awesome.
Yeah, well, I'm glad y'all had a fun time. I had a fun time as well. Okay. All right. Yeah. So let's do a quick round of shout outs. Let's just start in the order that I see everyone. So, Peter, anything you want to plug or say before you leave tonight?
Now, right now, you can follow me at Peter Medeiros19 on Twitter. I write stuff.
Okay. Awesome then. Thank you. Preston.
Shameless plugs. I will just let you know, guys. I play in a campaign on Tuesday nights, Australian Eastern Standard Time. We usually try to aim to start at around 6:45. We're pretty far through our current campaign. We're playing Eberron at the moment with our DM, Venice Elder, or Michaela, if you know him personally. You should come check us out if you want to see a bunch of friends just talk absolute nonsense.
Awesome.
I love your team. You've got such a great team going there.
Thanks.
Awesome.
What
And
Yeah, you can find me as Brain Beast Studios pretty much everywhere. This month on the 23rd, you can catch my show, which is once a month, which is the Shifting Spire, which George will be one of my victims later in the year. I think D&D meets Takeshi's Castle in a competitive game show, team versus team. Whoever gets the highest by the end of the season wins a like $2,000 grand prize, sponsored in part by Beetle and Grimm's with one of their platinum boxes. So it's going to be really fun. I've got Roll for Damage playing this month, and they're going into the most Takeshi's Castle inspired episode yet.
Very awesome. Cool. And George?
Yeah, just come check out Split the Party on YouTube. We do a lot of Dungeons and Dragons videos, and we get up to the most ridiculous hijinks. So if you're looking for a D&D laugh, yeah, Split the Party on YouTube.
Awesome. Thank you. Ron?
Yeah, playing D&D with old friends and new friends is always great. And it's I think it's even more fantastic that we got to do it and, raise money for a good cause and a good program. So I'm really grateful for being able to do that. And I was very happy to meet everyone. And I had a great time. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, Ron. And Daniel?
Hey, yeah, I don't have any of these cool plugs like you guys, but I do know of this because of RJ. So plugging RJ here, because I wouldn't be here and enjoying this Jasper event with you all without him. So follow RJ on Twitter. He's super entertaining. He's really informative and friendly. I love it.
Seconded.
Oh, well, thank you very much, y'all. I appreciate that. And I am RJ Cresswell. You can find me on Twitter at RJ_Cresswell. That's CRESSWELL, where I do post things about Dungeons and Dragons mostly. Sometimes other stuff. I do a fair amount of giveaways on there. In addition to that, I am a professional dungeon master. And if you saw this game and you thought it'd be fun to play with me, you can find me on startplaying.games. In addition to that, I've got a couple of Dungeons and Dragons streams, one of which is my homebrew campaign setting. We're playing a story called the Grimwood Saga, and you think maybe something weird and quirky like Twin Peaks meets Dungeons and Dragons or something like that. And then in addition to that, I'm also playing through Icewind Dale Rime of the Frost Maiden with a fun group of players, and our campaign is called Dead in Winter, and you can just find that on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/RJ Cresswell. So in my closing thoughts, thanks again so very much, players, for joining me tonight. Had a whole lot of fun. Thanks again, everybody who watched. Thanks again to Jasper's Game Day. If you enjoyed this, please check out any of the other events that they might be running and continue to donate, because it's for a good cause. And I think that's about all I've got. Just thank you all so very much.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.